We are Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
My name is Scott.
And I'm JB for Mickey Mouse.
What? Yeah. So there it is.
I just got bought.
House of Mouse everywhere, man. And look, this is what our it's like we keep getting pushed back. We want to do Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but then huge shit happens, and we feel like it's our responsibility to report on these things.
It is. With what is the line? With responsibility comes responsibility.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. So there it is. So
Spider-Verse is going to become our Ip Man.
Well, what's pretty nuts is that we've been talking about the Fox or the Disney acquisition of Fox for for over a year now, but I mean now it's finally happened. The sale went through on March 20th, 2019. And now they gave you the full breakdown of everything they actually own. And we'll go through the obvious shit first because, I mean, that's the nerd shit that you want to talk about. But let's start from the top here. Okay, so Fox is one of the oldest studios in Hollywood. It was formed in 1935 to compete against MGM and Warner Brothers. It was famously purchased by News Corp in 1985 and was split into two corporations. News Corp would handle newspapers and publishing, while 21st Century Fox would deal with film and television. Comcast offered $65 billion in cash for 21st Century Fox, but ultimately Disney won with a bid of $71.3 billion. So what exactly did Disney acquire by buying 21st Century Fox, and what does the government make them sell away so they don't violate antitrust laws? All right, so here's the big thing. Or the big things. Guaranteed 40% share of the international box office. When they were a studio onto their own, they had their highest percentage of control of box office was in 2016 with 50% of total take.
Just so competitively speaking, their best is 50%. You're saying now they could just sit on their ass and they'll get 40%.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. Yeah, wow. They can basically just, show up to the game, not throw a single ball, not kick a single goal. They got 40%. That's just what it is.
Damn.
So that's that deal, okay? They acquired the 21st Century Fox film library, which includes Alien, Predator, Planet of the Apes, Die Hard, Avatar, Titanic, and countless others. Fox's film library includes 78 Best Picture nominations, in which it won 12. 4 of those wins are under Fox Searchlight, a sub-studio dedicated to independent filmmakers. So they get that by purchasing 21st Century Fox. All right. Fox Searchlight is a premier independent studio responsible for such hits as Slumdog Millionaire, 127 Hours, Black Swan, 12 Years a Slave, Birdman, Brooklyn, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and The Shape of Water. This has been one of the most feared aspects of the Disney buyout because its future is currently unknown. Producer J. Miles Dale recently gave a speech at the Critics' Choice Award urging Disney to not mess with the studio. He also went on to say that the mission of Fox Searchlight is very important to the independent filmmaker and that aspect of the industry, and I totally agree with him.
I do too, and I think Disney has enough on their plate to start putting their hands in everything. I feel like they'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I would hope
or
so.
Or sell it to someone else,
Yeah, but I don't.
If they were going to sell it off, it wouldn't have been part of the deal.
Not necessarily. You'll see that come along later.
Well, I know they had to sell off that.
But there's some things that they chose to divest themselves from, and that's in here. So,
okay.
All righty. So, they own some of the other studios that they own. This includes 20th Century Fox Animation, Zero Day Fox, which I don't know what that is, and Fox 2000. The latter of which was created to build streaming platforms. Disney has already announced that thing is dissolved. So goodbye, Fox 2000.
And in so doing, 4,000 people are losing their jobs.
That comes later, but that's a combination of things. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see how it all bills out, okay? They own Fox Television Studios that has been in operation since 1949. It's responsible for classic shows such as MASH and The Simpsons, which has now been running for 30 years. The FCC ruled against ownership of the network due to Disney owning ABC, But considering they own the studio that produces the content for the Fox network, it makes little difference. This doesn't block them from owning cable networks FX and FXX, which is known for shows such as Nip Tuck, Rescue Me, American Horror Story, The Shield, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They also have 73% ownership of the partnership that manages National Geographic's channels and the magazine. So they have that also.
If anything, that's the smartest acquisition I could see as far as building into their... That National Geographic stuff is going to go into Disney Plus.
It is. It's already announced. Yeah. They said that there's going to be premier networks. The focus networks that are going to be part of Disney Plus is going to be Walt Disney, which they say is the animation. They've already announced that they're going to open the vault. All of the movies that are available in the Disney Vault will be available on Disney Plus, which is huge. So it's going to be Disney, Pixar, Marvel Studios, Star Wars, and Nat Geo. Those are going to be the kind of flagship things that are on the Disney Plus network of National Geographic, right. And so that's that deal. Okay, so those are the high-profile acquisitions. Okay, so here's the lesser-known stuff that they're going to get also. Fox Networks Group International. This includes Fox subsidiaries in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. Star India, which reaches 720 million viewers. They also are going to have a 30% stake in Tata Sky, a broadcast television provider in India. Endemol Shine Group, 50% ownership of the Dutch-based production and distribution company behind shows like Big Brother, Peaky Blinders, and Black Mirror. The international market is a huge profit segment for the entertainment industry, and Disney now finds themselves owning a portion of the roads that go into it.
Isn't
fucking crazy?
Isn't Big Brother a CBS joint then?
It's distributed CBS in America.
Oh,
yes.
Gotcha.
This is the international. So the thing with it is, it's produced there, distributed by CBS.
Is Big Brother still a thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very big thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
CBS is still the beast. So
wow.
Yeah.
Big Sky Studios, purchased by Fox in 1997. They are the animation studio responsible for Ice Age and Rio. Its continued existence certainly hangs in the balance since Disney is the top animation studio in the world. I have a feeling, thank you for your shit, goodbye.
Yeah.
Would you like to come work for Disney?
Pretty
Animation?
much. They're going to be like, work with us, or...
I don't even think that. I think it'll be like anything else. What's going to happen is that all of the acquisition upper people that find themselves in Disney now, they're going to take their fairy godchildren, and Disney's going to take their fairy godchildren, and everybody else is going to be shit out of luck, which pretty much is what happens at every job everywhere.
Right.
So that's all that stuff. They now own 60% of Hulu. Comcast owns 30% and AT&T 10%. The rumors surrounding Hulu are that Disney will use the service for R-rated content and other premium content from the Fox library. The other is that AT&T will sell their share to Disney to consolidate debt from their merger with Time Warner and move forward, launching their own service.
I feel like that is not a rumor, but...
I think that's definitely going to happen. In fact, Warner has already taken one step. They have a DC Comics direct app now where they have all of that content on it's DC Direct, which is all the animated movies, Superman, the Wonder Woman live action series, all that stuff they pushed onto that network, and like these other services, have their own original shows. They have Teen Titans, they have Doom Patrol, we have Swamp Thing, which is coming up soon.
Doom Patrol's getting really good reviews too.
Yeah, they say it's a really quirky, kind of different show, and it's really weird. And they said that it's a really good show. In fact, I think it's on top 10 streams right now as far as the numbers are concerned. So that's all that jazz. Here are the assets that Disney is going to divest themselves from. This is either they have to do this by law or they're just saying fuck it. All right, so assets divested from are 22 regional sport channels and Fox Sports Latin America. It has to be sold in 90 days, and this is due to Disney's ownership in ESPN. One of the reasons Comcast didn't fight Disney's offer is because Disney agreed to sell Sky Network, which provides streaming services in Canada and England. It's valued at $15 billion. So it looks like Comcast is probably going to get that.
Yeah.
Yankee Sports Entertainment and Sports Network. That's been sold to a consortium of businesses, which includes Amazon. So that's that. As per the European Commission, they have to sell the European division of A&E. That includes the History Channel and Lifetime. The History Channel and Lifetime is actually a Warner Brothers joint that's shown here, but in England, it's done through a Fox subsidiary, much like Big Brother is through CBS.
I see.
So there you go. All right, so that's everything, basically what the whole thing comes down to. And I'm sorry, here's the last thing here. For the assets that were not part of the sale, it's going to be formed under a new corporation that's simply called Fox Corporation. This includes the Fox Broadcasting Company, which is your local Fox affiliate channel that you watch. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Fox Sports. It's going to be Fox News and Fox Business. The last piece is the legendary 20th Century Fox lot in Los Angeles. That's part of Fox Corporation also. So they did not buy the actual studio. They didn't buy the lot. They are leasing it, and I'm sure that they're leasing it to deal with the transition of starting to, kind of absorb everything into the Walt Disney Company.
I am going to miss the 20th Century Fox theme.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're going to lose it. I think I think that it's going to still be a thing,
and you'll still see it in front of every movie that comes on Hulu that you go back and watch.
Oh no! I see what you're saying, John. No, you're right. Yeah, because if they didn't buy they only bought their content. They didn't buy the studio. They only bought their content.
Is it going to be like Touchstone and they're just going to keep 20th Century Fox in front of it, or is it going to have the Disney logo?
That's an interesting question. I'm sure that they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it to what it is, and they'll just throw the Disney banner on the back of it.
But I don't think we're going to go into a movie theater again and see.
That could be possible. Yeah.
Which is sad.
When's the last time you saw one, though?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, certainly the
just saying
Spider-Verse.
No, well, Spider-Verse is Sony.
Sony.
Yeah, that's not. That's right. Yeah, that's not Fox.
Right. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember that. Maybe
X-Men.
The only thing that I can
miss it.
The only thing I can tell you that I actively saw him Star Wars Episode 3, and that's only because that's the only obvious thing that I know. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's X-Men. I
out
still
of
like
sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
So now that we have all this out of the way, look, before we go to the thing, I'm just going to throw these last couple of items out here, and then we will discuss. But let's talk about what's good for the fans. Star Wars is now 100% owned by Disney. This includes distribution rights. The first Star Wars movie was owned by both Lucasfilm and Fox. The original trilogy's distribution rights were held by Fox until 2021. Now Disney has unfettered access to the brand.
I still think they will release the original cut at some point.
I don't think they will.
I do. Easy money. Easy money.
I think if they do it, they might do a re-release. I don't think you're going to see a dolled-up version of it. I think you'll see that re-release version that Lucas did.
I think you're going to see a 4K version of the original released one Christmas only. And we'll all go out and buy it.
Or it'll be on Disney Plus.
No, I think this is what you're going to see. I think you're going to see a Star Wars Saga maxi box set that's going to include all 9 movies, episodes 1 through 9, and that's going to be a bonus disc that's going to be part of that set.
Wait,
that's what I think it's going to be. Or a streaming package, or a Blu-ray, or
a streaming package,
or a Blu-ray. So Blu-rays are still a thing.
Yeah, sure.
So
not when you're running.
But you got to remember something else too: is that look, a streaming thing is not a nice thing that can be displayed upon a shelf, and there's still collectability to Star Wars.
There is.
Look, it's like the same thing with the Avengers. Look, dude, that fucking Phase 1 case that they revolved was fucking ballin'. Do y'all remember that thing? They sold a suitcase.
Yeah, I remember.
You opened it up. It had the Tesseract in it with the movies and dossiers of the characters and all that shit.
Yep, I remember.
And that's nerd shit, man.
Yeah, it is.
And can you buy the Star Wars maxi fucking all 9 on streaming? Sure, you can.
Right.
But I think that you're going to be able to buy a collectible package, and that's where they'll include that. Why? So they can push sales of that motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's what that is. All right, just a prediction. I could be wrong, but there it is. All right, they control more of their Marvel characters. They now own the rights to all of their characters with the exception of Spider-Man, who is on loan from Sony, and the same from the Hulk, who is over at Universal. Fox had the rights for the X-Men characters. That includes Deadpool, and they also had the rights to the Fantastic Four. Disney now also owns The Dark Phoenix, the 7th movie in the X-Men franchise, that will be released in June of this year. The purchase also includes The New Mutants, which hasn't been completed, but which has been completed, but it hasn't been released. It's now rumored that The New Mutants will pop up on Hulu as premium content. That's what they're saying.
I've never seen a rumor snowball so greatly in the chat boards and shit.
When you say will show up as premium content, you mean?
In other words,
Hulu exclusive.
Yeah, that's a word. Yeah, it's a Hulu
gotcha.
exclusive.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's a fucking bullshit, So, all right. This is good or bad depending on how you view it. They have distribution rights to fucking Batman 1966 because Fox has the distribution rights to Batman 1966. So they got a sliver of DC. I just thought that was cool, so I just threw it in there.
I don't think it's bad.
No, I don't think it's bad either.
They let the DC.
I think it's funny as fuck.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, now let's talk about what's terrible from this whole buyout, okay? Less avenues of employment for creative people. There's a reported 4,000 layoffs after only 3 days of ownership. Some believe it's even more because these numbers are based on employment numbers of the segments that have been dissolved.
Right.
So they can sit there and say, okay, they've dissolved that and it had that amount of employees. They dissolved that and it had that amount of employees. It might even be more than 4,000 people.
Okay.
That's just an educated guess.
But Apple is now opening their entertainment.
There you go.
Big guns. So I'm sure some people could say, hey, I worked at Fox and I developed.
Everybody's opening their avenues.
And everybody's opening their avenues. But here's the other thing, too, dude, is that Apple has a lot of fucking money. A lot.
Yeah, they do.
No, I'm just saying Apple's not going to be the only game in town.
Oh, no, of course not.
Everybody's going to have a streaming service at the end of the day.
Everybody's going to have a streaming service. And like I always say, he with the best content will win. So we'll get we'll word on that after all this shit. We'll give our thoughts, but here's the last ones, all right? Rules. All right, here's another thing that's bad for the industry. The rules set by Disney to exhibit their movies gives theaters less profit and forces minimums as to how many screens and amount of time a movie must be shown. This was a huge controversy among independent movie theaters that were forced to show The Last Jedi on multiple screens for 4 weeks. The movie had the biggest drop-off in cinema history in its second week at a whopping 72%. Many complained that they took losses. So now you have a studio now that controls a fuckload of stuff, and if they go and they hold these same the same feet, they try to hold their feet to the fire with the same program. Hey man, 40% of the box office.
Let me just say this real fast on what you just said. And there's a shit ton of just Disney movies before this was made official coming out in the next 8 months. And if every movie needs 4 weeks in the theater, there aren't that many screens.
Right.
See, I don't know if...
Or was it just Star Wars?
See, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. In all fairness, I don't know. I don't know if they hold people to the same restrictions with the animated and Pixar stuff as they do with Star Wars. I don't know. Or Marvel. I know Marvel also carries a huge exhibitor price. So...
Yeah, it just... that's a lot of screen time. Disney doesn't... They don't have enough physical screens for that many movies for that kind of time frame hold.
And that's it, man. And that's a sincere worry. And that's
it's not a worry. It's math. Disney physically. It's math. They can't put that many movies out and want them to show on a broad audience if they
Does
don't have a
any
screen.
movie have a 4-week run? I mean, Captain Marvel's only been out 2 weeks and it's already been dethroned by us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then you look at something
Aquaman.
But then you look at something like the Force Awakens that fucking ruled the box office for 10 weeks, or Guardians of the Galaxy that ruled the box office for over 3 months. Right. So I mean,
you don't think Endgame's going to be in there for a month?
Oh
no, sure. It'll have some.
Endgame
it'll
will
definitely
be
have legs.
inside the summer blockbuster. They'll be inside that, still beating movies.
Yeah, no, sure. I agree with that. All right, here's our last one, and this one's really fucked up. Media blackouts. Now with control of 40% of the international box office, Disney can assert their will over the entertainment media. The Los Angeles Times became critical of Disney in 2016, and as a result, they blacked out all access to them. The Times eventually relented, and now all's well in Fantasyland. So there you go.
Well, I need more specifics on that. How did they antagonize them?
They were critical. They were critical of them, something to do with the Oscars, and Disney didn't take too kind to that shit.
So they were like, we're not going to let you see Marvel movies?
No, basically, we're not going to let you interview us. We're not going to give you access to sets. We're not going to give you that shit.
Oh, okay.
So, dumbass on me, no dumbass on you. So that's pretty much how that worked. So,
whatever paper takes them to the mat needs to be a small, like Sioux Falls Gazette or something. Like, we're not in there. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right. Well, but the LA Times,
it's in their backyard.
Yeah, that's fucking hardcore. So
it'd be like Variety,
and that's the thing.
Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
People don't read papers anymore, but the thing with it is when you got 11.8 million motherfuckers like in one area, you can still sell a pretty sizable amount of newspapers.
Right, but 90% of the people who live there are all about what's going on, and Disney having a monopoly.
Sure.
No one's going to say that word because that's illegal, but having so much of a stake in that town at that point, it's really, you're choking off news sources.
I'm just going to throw my 2 cents out on this whole thing, looking at this acquisition. There's a lot of advantages that they have through purchasing 21st Century Fox, but I think as any big company and been through enough shares of seminars, listening to people talk that are monster fucking corporations, whether it's paint companies or, which I do for a living, or whatever, the whole thing with it is that they have all of these industry segments. And once they've dominated or fucking whored a fucking industry to death, they're looking for the next industry to dominate or whore. We all know what that industry is. It is streaming. We're into the run now. We're here. It's nothing new. It's all out there. Everybody's jumping on the train. Look, Apple comes out. They fucking put their big keynote out, man. They show these videos that have all these big recognizable stars and as Scott said in the Not Real Entertainment Minute, they have this whole ecosystem of a app that can control all of your apps. The way you just type in what you want to watch, and blammo, there it is. And everybody's coming up with their bullshit. And look, right before that Apple keynote, YouTube comes out and says, "Hey, look, we have premium content, but we're not going to produce. We're going to cancel 2 of the upcoming ones." Well, does that mean everything? No, it doesn't mean everything. But it's just going to be these 2. But I think that's eminent. Dude, it seems to me the only thing that they
have. So YouTube tapped out. I heard they had built a studio.
They didn't tap out entirely. They tapped out on 2 upcoming series that they have out. From my understanding of YouTube, the only thing it seems to me that they have that's worth a fuck is the Karate Kid. That's.
Well, there was some Jordan.
And that's actually the cheapest thing they were producing.
Well, there's a Jordan Peele sci-fi thing they were doing as well.
I think that got canceled.
I think so.
I think that's the one. So
Jordan Peele's a little busy.
Yeah,
YouTube
he's
knows
got
where
shit
their money
everywhere.
is made, and it's not in premium content.
No, fuck no. It's made in advertising. That's exactly
it.
Advertising mid-sentence.
And that's where it's made. And hey, look, there's another thing too. Is look, people you said it yourself. You have no problem paying $10 a month to get rid of ads.
God, right.
I don't.
I listen to fucking ads. I listen to my video. If I get interrupted, no big deal. I'm ready to fucking skip that motherfucker in 5 seconds. It's good to go. So yeah,
YouTube has been more and more aggressive with it to the point where you have to sit through 30 seconds, and they will cut things off mid-sentence, and that's what gets me. It's like, look. And Scott and I were having this debate because he said, I'd just rather pay $10 to get CBS without commercials. And I said, CBS creates content that factors commercials in. So it's a swell, then dip to black commercial, and then we're back to where they left off. But YouTube, it's just mid-sentence. It's just, you ain't fair, you got just put it on.
Right.
Right. Well, at the time that this is being recorded, it's March 26th, 6:14 p.m. that we're recording this right now, and I'm just making the prediction right now. I think in 3 years, I think by 2022, this time, I think Disney is the #1 streaming company in the world. I really do believe that, based on looking at this alone. Between Hulu and their own Disney Plus network.
Yeah.
I think they're number
I mean,
one.
I feel like mathematically they kind of already are. You know what I mean? As soon as they open their service, when is that gonna happen?
August.
It says third quarter, so yeah, it's either going to be July or August.
You don't
so,
think
we're
every
around
kid's
the
gonna get
corner.
that shit for the holidays for $7? I'm saying next year they'll be number
Fuck,
one.
you kidding me? I'm getting it launch day.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm not
Yeah.
waiting. I'm not waiting for
Number
Christmas.
one.
What I was gonna say is I think they'll be possibly the number one streaming service, but I don't think they'll still have Hulu. I think that's gonna get sold off.
Fuck no.
Why
No,
have it?
Indeed not.
Why have two services?
Dude, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Why have two streaming services? You have one streaming service to push to a below PG-13 rating set, to push to families. And then you have another one that sits there. So in other words, look, I'm going to push a service for you for the kids. And now I'm going to push another service to you for mom and dad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get, Netflix is getting $13 a month. I'm going to get $20 a month from Hulu and from that. Yeah. And since Hulu has an actual live TV segment, I pay for it. I pay for Hulu Live. That's how I get my live television instead of going through a satellite provider or a cable provider. They got my money. Shit, dude, I pay $40 a month for that. $45 a month for that.
You have $45 a month for Hulu?
Yeah, they raised the price on it. But I mean, but it's live TV. I can watch live shit. It's got DVR. And it has all the fucking channels that I want. I think the only one that's missing out of the run,
AMC.
I don't think it has AMC, but I don't watch anything on AMC, so it doesn't matter to me. So I mean that's pretty.
Don't
I was
go
just
there.
saying.
I'm not busting balls, dude. I mean,
no.
Walking Dead. Even take Walking Dead out of the equation. That's the only thing I ever watched on AMC.
No, I was back to the Hulu acquisition selling off. Apple, looking at what Apple's doing, making their ecosystem closed, so where it's a one-stop shop. You stay in Apple, you never leave Apple. It's Apple, Apple, Apple. I'm thinking, why wouldn't Disney follow route? And like when you go to Disney World, it's Disney, Disney, Disney. There is nothing else to see.
Right.
Why wouldn't they do that technologically?
Well, dude, I mean, the thing with it is look at Star Wars. You don't see Disney on anything with Star Wars, nor do you see Marvel Studios.
I can still go to Disney World and get Star
well,
Wars.
sure,
stuff.
you can, but I mean, the thing
When I
with
get the Disney service, I'll have Star Wars.
Apple, dude, Apple is not the fucking juggernaut it once was. Yeah, they got a lot of money, but a lot of that money's from overseas.
I'm not.
They're getting their ass
I use
kicked.
them as an example. Amazon is the same way.
Well,
They have their ecosystem. You stay in the ecosystem. You buy from them. You watch from them.
Disney has its ecosystem.
But they don't. They have two.
Yeah, they have their ecosystem.
Yeah.
They own every fucking thing.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
their ecosystem.
You still gotta jump around.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. But that's the thing, though. It's Scott. When you have Hulu, when Hulu fucking hits its stride and all that bullshit, man, I'm telling you, they have their own program. They have their own following as well.
I think by that logic,
they don't-
Scott,
I
they
don't
would have
think they
sold ESPN a long
Amen.
time ago. You know what I mean? Like, they'll hang on to where they're making money.
Hulu, I'm gonna tell, dude, the new way for them to make money and to make even more money and expand themselves into streaming, dude, Hulu and Disney Plus is their shit. And that's how they're going to do it. They're going to attack it from both segments. And if they get the right shit on Hulu and they put the right
Hulu Live?
No, I'm just talking Hulu in general. If they put the right shit on Hulu, now it's a different game than Netflix. Think of it now. So look, let's say Comcast stays in the program.
All right.
Let's say Comcast has all their shit that they can throw on there and all that
They'll
stuff,
stay
right?
in.
So they'll stay in, okay? AT&T is going to get out. So Disney's now going to own 70%, and they're going to sit there and say, okay, Netflix, okay, cool, look, I have all of the regular shit on TV. I got all that. Yeah, I got commercials, but that's no big deal. People are still paying for it and they're used to that. I have my own original content. Oh, I have The Simpsons. I have The X-Files. I have Predator. I have Alien. I have all that shit to throw all on that fucking service. I don't want to put it on Disney Plus because I don't want to market that as an all-inclusive app. I want it to be my family shit. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, dude, between those two, they won't sell that. No fucking way.
I think it's going to be a Disney kind of year.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that they control the streaming segment.
I'm trying to find out.
I don't, dude. Apple isn't even on their fucking radar.
No, they're not. Apple's on no one's radar, but Netflix is.
Oh, yeah, well, sure, Netflix is, but it goes down to the same old thing with Forbes, is that Netflix ultimately is not a sustainable model. And the reason why is that they got to keep making billion-dollar loans for fucking content, where Disney sits there and says, hey, you know that vault? You know that vault that's worth fucking billions of dollars? You know the shit that's been paid for 100 times since 1940?
Let it have
Here it is.
Let's go back to that one thing about streaming and being a streaming, dominating. Do you think at some point they pull the plug, not pull the plug, but sort of pull the plug on what gets released on the big screen?
No. I think that what they do is that they create exclusive content, which they did announce that also. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's going to be a CGI modern take on Lady and the Tramp, which is going to get the remake treatment like Dumbo and all this new shit coming out.
Oh.
Exclusive to Disney Plus.
Oh.
No theater.
So
then they are.
All right. So what?
Yes and no.
What do we see as a possible disruptor or a David Stone and the Goliath of Disney?
I think Netflix either buys somebody or somebody buys Netflix. And I think that these are the two that these are my likely scenarios. I think Apple buys Netflix, or I think this is an even more reasonable thing. Comcast was about to buy shit for $65 billion. I think Comcast could take a swing at Netflix.
Now, if what Chris just said is right, now you're talking about that's a legitimate.
Then there's the lone asshole in the mix that we haven't talked about at all. Warner Brothers.
Right.
Warner Brothers has all their stuff. Dude, they got Harry Potter. They have DC.
And Universal's in that conversation too, right? Warner Brothers Universal? Are they?
No. I don't think who's Universal owned by? I don't know who owns them. I think they're Viacom. They're the same company that owns Paramount and MTV Networks and all that shit. I think that's who that is. I believe.
Anyway, go on.
So I mean that's it. I mean, dude, Warner has a colossal amount of content, and on top of that too is that merger with AT&T. We're also remember something else that we forget. Warner Brothers owns HBO.
Yep.
They got Game of Thrones.
Yep.
They got Deadwood. They got Rome. They've got all of that premium programming.
HBO.
Yeah, they got HBO.
Right.
And HBO is no slouch. It has its own content. Dude, The Sopranos was big. People are still fans.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing how Detective Pikachu does, because I feel like there is that demographic of kids that grew up on Nintendo and Pikachu and all that shit. I feel like that content is not being remotely developed. We're talking about all the shit that we grew up with, and they're about to become a really significant demographic. And one of the big disruptors on television and the internet for a while, I don't know if it still is, but Twitch, the network, like it was generating ludicrous numbers of kids just watching each other play video games. So I feel like we all know that that's been sort of a toxic dump in terms of trying to translate video games into.
They need to figure out a way to charge that, though, because the thing with it is there's so many avenues to watch that for free, and that's the thing.
Yes.
But I think the issue with it is that I think that you're onto something, John. I think definitely gaming plays into something at some point.
Yeah.
But I think the thing
not
with
in
it
the near
is
future, but
not in the near. Well, I mean, if you think about it in a technology standpoint, dude, near future is like fucking 3 years. I mean,
exactly.
That's it. In fact, I'm sorry. That let me reverse that. Far future is 5 years.
Right. Exactly.
With how fast shit moves now,
Yeah.
and how quickly things develop. I was thinking about that the other day, man. I mean, with all these Marvel movies, dude, it's hard to believe. I mean, like Black Panther, that movie seems like it came out like years ago. It only came out last year.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
2018. I mean, a little bit more than a year ago that came out, and it feels like it came out years ago because they shovel so much content at once.
Yep.
So I think streaming is where it's at. I mean, I think the movie theater has done what it's going to do. I mean,
certainly for you guys.
Well, I mean, but even if I think the movie theater has done what it's going to do, the only thing now left in the movie theater, and we've already seen it happen, premium seating. Honestly, I think movie theaters are going to become more boutique. I don't think that you're really in the future going to see a lot of big multiplexes anymore. I think you're going to see a lot of probably little 8-seater theaters, little 8-screen theaters that are going to be like Alamo Drafthouse. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like a temple. People are going to go in there. They're going to pay a lot of fucking money to see a movie. They're going to pay a lot of money to see a movie, probably like $30 or $40. And if somebody starts some shit, the flashlight gets shown, and you get the fuck out of here. That's how they deal with an Alamo. If they catch you on your phone, they throw you out of the theater. If they catch you talking, they throw you out of the theater. That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I love it.
That's the way it should be. Oh, yeah. I'd pay $40 for that. I'd pay $40
for the big movies.
I'd tip the ushers an extra $10 to watch me be able to beat the fuck out of them. I'd pay an extra $10 for that.
So I'm in that AMC club where you pay $20 and you see 3 movies a week. And it's financially the best thing you could do if you like to watch
because
movies.
You go a lot.
Well,
yeah.
I don't have to go a lot for $20. I went and saw Us in Dolby, and that was $17.
Yep.
I paid for it that night.
They're not making. See, that's the thing, though. They're not making money off of you.
I don't know that they're making money off of anybody. I got to be honest.
The thing that they're counting on, dude, is that you're going to buy concessions. Because the thing with it is that they're buying a box of Milk Duds for $0.25, and they're selling it to you for they're selling it to you
Coke and popcorn.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So they got their they're probably in their cost for concessions maybe at about $1.50, and they're charging you $15. That's where they're hoping to make the money.
I mean, I'm any movie I can see in Dolby, I will.
Oh, absolutely,
awesome.
Without question. Yep. So I mean that's where it's at, man. I think that the movie houses have done what they're going to do. I mean, I think home theaters, that will always be something that will continue to improve. You'll see larger larger televisions, which we're seeing now. Samsung's The Wall came out, which is this 219 thing. I think that we should all get one and make Mexico pay for it. But
yeah,
you get The Wall and all that bullshit. It's a 219-inch television.
Yeah.
So you're geting theater emulation. I mean,
you're also talking about a $50,000 television.
Yeah, but dude, look.
Presently, yes.
Presently. I mean, shit, I remember when plasmas came out and they were like $10,000.
Yeah.
Shit, now you can get a plasma TV for $500, and that's like a 70-inch television.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I mean, yeah, dude, it's like anything. You're going to pay the upfront shit, and then it's going to eventually become affordable. And I think that's the thing. As time goes on, as time does, you'll see home theaters become a micro version of what you're seeing in the in the theater. What you're seeing at a movie house at a Cineplex. Right. And that'll be that. But I really think that streaming, that's the next. I mean, it's already here, but I mean that's the next thing for companies to exploit, and it isn't going to end here. I mean, dude, it keeps on going. CBS, they've got their shit. ABC, I mean, it's Disney, so I mean they're going to capitalize from a different range. But dude, NBC, you might see them.
Mm-hmm. Well, NBC can always just go through Hulu as well.
Well, and there's that too.
30%,
and that's it, and still have 30%. So that's it. I mean that's pretty much where it's at. I think that's really what this whole purchase really has to do with. Nerds will be like, oh, they wanted the X-Men and they wanted Star Wars. Man, that's fucking icing on the cake for them.
Right.
The real cake is we have content. And remember, boys, he with the most content and the best content wins.
But I do wonder how much of a thumb on the scale of decision making Kevin Feige was. Just because he has been for years saying, we're getting them back. One way or the other, we're getting them back. And Marvel is an enormous force. There's nothing like it in Hollywood history, man.
I think Kevin Feige has great influence upon the head council of Disney, the powers that be. The Illuminati, so to speak, of Disney. I think he's a member of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's it. You're talking about a guy who changed the movie franchise forever.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the other shit, the first movie, the first summer blockbuster, Jaws, the first movie franchise, Star Wars, now brought to a whole different crazy level, Marvel. So,
Yeah.
I think he wields great power and influence.
I feel like he's sort of like the captain of Manifest Destiny. You know, he was like, one way or the other, we're getting it all back. To the point where I'm just sort of like, Universal should just give him the Hulk as a, like, you know, well played, warrior. You know, like,
well, see,
it's like, what are you even doing with it, God? Like, they're not even doing anything with it.
Their thing is they got their Hulk television show, and they got their royalties, because I guarantee you, that may not seem like a big deal, but this is the thing. The way that shit was cut back then, I'm willing to bet that they have some type of play on merchandise, and that's the reason they won't let it go. They probably have some kind of merchandising percentage built into that thing. It's more than just Lou Ferrigno and green paint.
You think it's more than $1 billion?
Oh, I don't know, Scott. I don't think it's
Yeah.
more than $1 billion, but I mean, that's the thing, though.
Like, and here's the head scratcher to me. Like, in order for Sony to hang on to Spider-Man, they kept having to make movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even if they sucked, they made him. But we haven't seen a Hulk movie in forever. And short of his appearances in Marvel joints, I'm just not sure how they get to hang on to it.
Well, I think the thing with it is that was part of the deal.
Yeah, we don't know what that deal is.
Well, I think part of the deal was that the Universal, it was kind of like this kind of thing. They walked up and they say, "Hey, man, we want to make the Avengers. We want to make a movie, and the Hulk has to be part of it." Okay, no problem, dude. Well, look, we want to hold on to the Hulk rights. So how about this? Don't make any Hulk movies. You can use the character whenever you want. And I think that has to do with the reason why you won't see a Hulk solo movie that features him as the lead character. It's to do with those rights with Universal.
It's a weird arrangement, I gotta say.
Oh, and I guarantee you that those rights that Universal has is probably fucking sweet. That makes them want to hang on to that shit.
It must be.
Yeah. With the power that you said that Feige has with the Marvel franchise,
Yeah, exactly.
There is Universal's making a little dime.
And I mean, think about it, dude. Look, think about the whole thing with the Hulk. You go walking up in there and you say, "Okay, dude, look, we're gonna make a Hulk movie." Okay, well, we're not gonna make a Hulk movie, but we want to use him on loan. Well, they probably sit back there and say, "Okay, well, look, let's look at the Hulk realistically. He's a great supporting character and he's awesome."
Right.
So the thing with it is why are we going to sit there and spend millions of dollars buying back the rights to this one character when we can use it whenever the hell we want?
Right, exactly.
We'll give our little tribute to Universal so we can use the character.
Right.
And I guarantee
Why
you,
buy
it's
the cow
same,
when you get the milk for free?
and that's it.
there
And
you go.
it's the same thing with Spider-Man. It's the exact same thing with Spider-Man.
Right. Though Sony's starting to get their shit together with him.
Yeah. I'll disagree on the Spider-Man thing because I feel like if they picked up Spider-Man, they would have a good franchise on their hands.
I think so. But I think the thing with it is
Spider-Man's going to be in the park. They're saying that he's going to be part of Epcot Center.
yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, this is news.
And they can do that. And the reason why is because you have to realize something. They don't have total and complete control over the rights to Spider-Man.
But they have the merch rights.
They have the film rights.
Yeah,
Sony does.
You could go make Disney can step right up and they can make a Spider-Man video game, and they're not trampling on Sony's property at all. They're not doing that.
Because
at all.
Spider-Man is in Universal.
Yeah,
Runs
right.
around just...
Yeah, he
not
runs.
not for much longer, I don't think.
I don't know.
Well, they gave Universal the rights to use the comic book versions of the characters. That's why when you see the X-Men running around, they're dressed like they were in the 70s.
Yeah, same thing
Yeah.
with the Thor merchandise and Captain. It's all...
But all that aside, I think it's the same thing with Spider-Man. Like Scott says, why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free? What it comes down to is if we go run and buy the film rights to Spider-Man and we go buy that catalog back, Sony's going to demand a fuckload of money for it. So, man, look, they're giving us Spider-Man. That's what they really want. They're coming out with a Venom movie. And I was thinking about that the other day. Venom is a fantastic character. But watching that Venom movie and watching how it's all put together, we're watching John Hughes Spider-Man. Venom doesn't even really fit into what they're doing.
Not really, yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of ends up being a perfect kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that is a weird movie we'll talk about some other time. But,
I actually want to do an episode on Venom. Because that movie that's a weird fucking movie, dude.
It really was.
So strange.
Agreed.
And I didn't realize, I mean, dude, I knew he was kooky, but dude, Tom Hardy is a fucking weird motherfucker, dude. I love him to death, but he's a weird bastard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, man, we dropped a lot on this one. So
I think we did.
Anything to add?
No, other than
thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'd really be interested in hearing what other people had to say or sound off on the Facebook page. I know we say that just as a matter of course, but I would be very interested in hearing what other people have to say about this merger.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Get on there and
So get on there. Get on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I guess one of us will have to start it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and throw something out there as soon as the show publishes. I'll just put out, look, thoughts? ?
Yeah.
That's it. So, all right, well, look, we appreciate you guys listening. Speaking of that Facebook page, that's the PPV Guys group. You can jump over there and you can ask for a request to be invited. We will approve you, and you can jump on there and bullshit with us. Post news, post some cool stuff, all that good shit. And also make sure to run over to iTunes. You can subscribe over there to get our episodes dropped straight to your telephone or podcasting device. Also, YouTube, we're published over there as well. So if you enjoy commercials and you don't pay $10 a month, to hear us get interrupted,
I don't get commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, because we're fucking nobody. That's why. So, yeah, but you can change all that by subscribing and, liking our video, a few fucking thousand times. So, all right, well, look, thanks for listening and scene.